All right, hey everyone. So this is like a special version, right, of what we're doing today. So I wanted to have a conversation about, what I found to be the most effective way in mocking with someone else in RCA, right? Or someone else that's, mocking sales scripts with you as a setter or closer, RCA or not, and you want ways to get the most out of it, right? Like get the most bang for your buck because you're utilizing the most important asset which you have, your time, right? See, a lot of us don't value our time. We cheapen it, we give it away, and don't really have it. Like this is like priceless. And as you get more and more successful in life, you'll start to notice that the most important commodity that you really possess and have ownership and power over is your time, right? So whenever you mock with someone, you want it to be useful, you want it to be effective, you want it to have value to not just you, but also the person you're mocking with, right? Otherwise, like, what the hell are you doing, right? It's like you're just saying blah, blah, blah to each other, blowing air out of your mouth for a half an hour, and nothing actually gets accomplished that's going to empower you and train, develop you to be more effective at whatever you're doing, right? So here's what I found that works, right? So first of all, if you're the one mocking, right, and let's say, someone's going to be the client or prospective client to you, and you're the one mocking, okay? So you want to take on treating this person like they're someone you really care about, right? Like a mom, a parent, a daughter, a son, a wife, right, or a spouse. You want to treat them like they're someone you love, right? And you want to really get masterful with the script. And I get that you may not be that way at the very beginning, especially if you're brand new. And ultimately, that's where you want to be, right? Because otherwise, your attention the entire time, right, will be on the script. So I have another video about this, preparing for your mock. So you'll listen to that if you want to about this, okay? So look, so here you are, you're mocking the script. Now, as you're mocking, right, as you're generating and reading the script to the prospect, you don't just want to be firing off questions like an interrogator, right? Because what that communicates is like you're either brand new, you have no idea what you're doing to the other person. This is what they hear, right, in the background when you're talking to them, and you sound robotic, right? You sound like you might as well be talking to like the prospect might as well be talking to a machine, just spit firing questions to them and answering, right? Like you're not human, you're like an alien. So you want to sound like genuine. You want to sound smooth. You want to sound like you're in a bar or a restaurant or at home with people you care about, and you just having like a normal conversation with them. Like, hey, the intention of the call is to give you more information about what we do at Remote Closing Academy, the benefits it could have for you in your life. I want to get to know you and what you're up to, what has you looking for an opportunity like this right now. And if it's a good fit, I would love to give you more information about it and help you get on your way to be successful, make $10,000+ a month and get out of the career, which it seems like, you're kind of evolving from, right? And want to move past. And that's what we're going to be talking about. And I go over this in other calls too, right? So you just want to set the intention, right? For one. So if you're the prospect listening to the person mocking and they don't set an intention for the call, like you got to call that person out. They're like, look, like, what the hell are we talking about right now? Like, if someone calls you and they're like, hey, is this Johnny? And you're like, yeah. And they're like, cool, what's up, man? You should be like, who the fuck is this? Like, you should call them out right away because that is weird, isn't it? When someone you don't know calls you and they're like, hey, man, what's up? Like, I don't even tolerate those people anymore in my life, even with Facebook messages. If they don't text me right away saying who the hell they are and what they want, I block them. I ignore them. Because I'm like, don't waste my time. Like, my time is important. What do you want? Now, I don't say it like rudely. I'm like, hi, like, how can I help you? Is usually what I say. Very intentional, right? So you want to hold them accountable, people that are prospecting or being the clients, okay? They don't set an intention, whether you're a setter or a closer, you need to call them out because then it's just weird. Like, it's odd. Like, why are you asking me these questions? Like, why am I here? Why do I even care as a prospect to listen to you talk, whoever the setter or closer is, right? So always set the intention. And if they don't, call them out, like right away. You have to. Look, okay, listen, the people that are mocking only get trained and developed if you call them out on things they're not doing, period. If you let them get away with that stuff, you're like now part of the problem, right? You're now complicit in them being someone that's weird and odd, and like not very loving and professional. It sounds odd, right? When someone randomly calls you, imagine if a telemarketer called you, right? And they're like, "Oh, hi, is this Alex?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh, how you doing, Alex?" I'd be like, "Who the fuck is this?" Like, what do you want? I'm busy. I got a life. So always set the intention, right? And if they don't, hold them account, like, call them out right away. You have to. Otherwise, you're being complicit in them not being effective at what they're doing, okay? And then after that, right, look, if you're the prospect or the client and the person mocking with you is just going on, like I did a mock call one time with someone, I won't say who, and this person just went on for like 10 minutes about like, how awesome whatever they're selling is, how awesome their life is. And you got to get, like, when someone talks that long, like, you get bored. I was like checked out after minute 2 because it was all about who? It was all about them. They didn't give a crap about me. I literally put the phone down for 5 minutes, came back. They were still talking. I was like, what the fuck? And I even texted the person on Messenger while they were talking. And I'm like, hello, I'm here. There's a human being here trying to communicate with you. Like, are you done? Like, can we have a conversation now? Are you done monologuing? Like, that might sound disrespectful to you, but you got to get, when you're the client and you're interested in getting a job and someone calls you and it's all about you, talking about you for like 15, 10 minutes, whatever, you'd be pissed off too, wouldn't you? You're like, this is call about me getting a job or something? Like, why were you talking about you? So look, when people do that crap, again, call them out. Be like, hey, why are you talking about yourself so much? Isn't this call about me? Aren't you trying to close me? Either to get to the next person closer or close me right now? Like, why are you talking about yourself? How is that relevant? Once again, right, to the intention of the call. If there's no intention, well, then they could do whatever the hell they want. You let them get away with it, right? If you're the prospect or you're the client, the prospective client. So again, you got to stop them and be like, look, listen, your job is to ask me intentional questions designed to extract information from me. And most importantly, have me as the prospective client, like share with you, like what's important to me. Like what do I care about? What matters to me in my life? What am I dealing with right now at my job that I don't like, that has me looking for another job? And you want to get interested in those things, right? The people that are mocking. Look, you should only be talking, 15, 20% max of that call. Mostly you're listening, right? You're asking questions, which you go over in my other calls. Things like, hey, I'm just really curious, what has you looking for a new job right now as opposed to a year ago? Like, what's changed? Or like, are you making enough money right now to satisfy the lifestyle you want to have for you and your family? And then just listen, right? And be interested in what they're saying. And once again, the prospects, if you're people that are mocking are not listening, they're not interested, they're not asking those type of questions, again, you have to call them out like right away. Seriously, don't wait. Okay, I've learned if you wait until the whole thing is done, it's not as effective as interrupting them in the moment and making that correction. Because then you have them do it again, and now it's done the right way, right? Or a way that's more effective. So that's something you could do if you really want to, like, real time, support people in their training development, is pause them real time and tell them what's up, right? And look, it's not like you're making them wrong, like they're a bad person, right? But it's like, hey, there's a human being over here. Isn't the call about me? Like, why aren't you asking me questions about me and my life? Like, are you even in the conversation? Or are you just monologuing to yourself? Like, what's up, right? I mean, look, again, prospects, if you hear the person mocking and, their voice is like this the entire time. Okay, Bob, so what has you looking at RCA right now? Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so, how much money do you make right now with your current job? If you hear someone like that, you should stop the conversation right away and be like, dude, or, whoever. Like, if it's a woman, go like, miss, like, you sound robotic as shit right now. Are you even in this conversation? You sound like you're reading a script. You sound robotic, like you don't give a crap about it. You sound bored, like what's up? Because that's how a lot of people sound like, by the way, when I mock with a lot of people. And I've mocked with over 140 at this point in RCA alone, and then other places too, right? Most people, especially when they don't know the script, right? Their attention is elsewhere on a piece of paper, and they sound like that. Look, you got to call them out and be like, hey, you're boring me. Like, I do that. Like, you gotta be like, look, your voice is monotone. Like, this isn't working for me. I'm bored. I'm not interested. I'm not enthusiastic about this call. I'm not inspired at all to keep going. You got to change it up, right? You're not gonna tell them how to do it, but like make them be responsible for it. Like, you got to change it up. You got to do something differently. You have to, I don't know, you have to like be more animated in your voice, but it's not working. Whatever you're doing is not working. It's ineffective, and I'm bored, right? Once again, call them out and have them do it again. Because seriously, like the things I just mentioned so far, like the most common things I see that like don't work. You know, people like if they're not if they don't hear someone who's animated and excited on a call, if you don't set an attention, you know, if they're talking a lot, like look, I'm telling you right now, you're not going to be effective at sales. Period. Your numbers are going to suck. They're going to be really crappy, like 20% less or less closing and show, like, you know, whatever setting rate, like really low. And here's what you're going to do, and this is the funniest part, is that you're going to blame the prospects. You're going to blame the clients for not being a fit for you, right? Oh, they didn't say yes because they're an idiot. Oh, they didn't say yes because they're dumb. Oh, because of like whatever bullshit comes out of your mouth, it's just that. It's bullshit, okay? Like, you need to become responsible of what you're communicating to the world. And if you sound boring, monotone, no intention, it's all about you, I would tell you to kick rocks too. I'd be like, fuck off. I don't want to talk to you. You obviously don't care about me. How do I know that? Because you're not even listening to me. You're bored. It's all about you. Who the hell are you, right? And you got to call people out like immediately. You know, if we're not that, then at the end of the call with feedback. And like, you got to tell them, look, you did this. It wasn't effective. I was confused. I was lost in the beginning because you didn't set intention. You know, I don't know. You didn't ask permission if I had time to talk, like whatever, right? Like the prospects, you want to hold them accountable to everything they do and everything they don't do. Seriously. You know, if you don't feel comfortable with this person on the phone, you need to tell them right away. Like, I don't feel comfortable talking to you. I don't know why, but I don't. Like, there's no trust right now. There's no relationship or connection with you. Like, please deal with that right now. Challenge them, right? Don't tell them what to do. Just tell them like what's there for you, what isn't working, what's missing if you could identify it, and have them deal with it. And look, this goes both ways, right? Because then you're switching, and now the other person's mocking. Same thing for you, right? Now the person that's mocking you now do the same thing for them. You hold them accountable, and you make sure like they're doing all these different spaces of the conversation, so you're comfortable, you're connected, you know the intention, you like them, they're animated. It's a fun call. These calls should be fun, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Not like super serious. Now, I get like when we're training and coaching, yeah, it's serious because we're training. But when you're like with actual people, like you want to be great with them. You know, you want to be nice and generous and friendly, right? And you want to just check in and see how they're doing, right? Look, I'm gonna leave you guys and gals with this, okay? The way that I say it, that works extremely well for me. That causes me to have a 90% show rate to the closer in my experience of my time, to close, you know, 40, 50% higher close rates. It's simple, right? The client, when they leave the phone with you, should be inspired, excited, lit up about the opportunity you've now created with them, not told them, created with them because they said it was important to them. They said their life matters. They said what they want. And you're just like showing them a vehicle to get them there. Like, great. Like through us, we can, you know, and I have other calls on this as well, right? But that's your job. And seriously, look, status or closes, seriously, if people like, even if you close them, but they're not inspired, they're not excited, they're not motivated, look, good job. And consider you failed in having them be powerfully set up for, in this case, right, RCA in the academy. Like, look, there's a lot of people that I've seen join. They join every day, and they're like not excited. They're like, oh, I had my first mock call, was a disaster. Like, I need help. Or like, something like, I don't know, people keep canceling mock calls on me. I don't know what to do. Like, I don't, like people get frustrated, they don't know what's going on. And you could be a demand. I even made a call about this, right? I may have another YouTube video on this in my playlist that talks about you should be like demanding that when people schedule with you, like they're gonna be there, right? They put in their calendar. They'll communicate if any breakdowns happen. They can't show up beforehand. Like you want to mock with only the best people. Seriously, you want to really get this. Okay, people that just throw their calendar out into the freaking ether. Yeah, no shit. People cancel on you. They don't even know them. You haven't even talked to them. Everyone I schedule, I talk to 100% every time. Now, I have gone into other people's calendars on the RCA group and, gone and like RCP to them, right? Because I want to support them. And I still message them. I'm like, hey, I got you. I'll have a call with you. And like, oh, thank you so much. Like we talk. And whenever I schedule anyone, I'm like, hey, I'm available. Who wants to mock? And then I always do confirm. Is it in your calendar? Okay, great. It's in mine. Great. All right, if you have any breakdowns, please let me know beforehand. It's respectful to my time and yours, right? I create that expectation. And look, I have like almost I don't know, I've had maybe 1 or 2 people blatantly just not show up out of like 140 calls. It's nothing. Everyone else was either there or they were in communication about it beforehand and we reschedule. Like you could have that too. You just gotta be very intentional and very respectful of your time and theirs. That's it. All right, so look, lessons learned, right? Hold each other accountable. Don't let them get away with shit. If you sound uncomfortable, tell them. If you don't know who the hell they are, tell them. If you're not connected, tell them. Listen, you should be comfortable in these calls. You should be like happy. As a prospect, you should like to have the conversation because you're creating your future with this person. You like what you hear. Like if you're not inspired by it in the call, you should tell them that. Be like, hey, like, decent job, good job, whatever, but like, I'm not excited about this. Like, I should be excited to enroll and potentially make 10, 20 grand a month. I'm not excited about it yet. Like what's missing here? Challenge them, right? Let them deal with that crap. And same thing for you, okay? This goes both ways again. And I promise you, if you take all these things on, right, you will seriously become a very desirable person to mock with. Like literally, people message me like almost every day to mock with me. They're like, hey, I heard about you. You're really badass. Or like, you give great coaching or whatever. Like you want to be that person, right? You want to be a demand for coaching where people love mocking with you. And now they're seeking you out, right? You're now in demand. People want your time, your valuable time, because they know it's going to be worth theirs. Remember that. I'll leave you with that. All right, everyone. Have a great night. I'll see you all in the next recording. Take care.